If you've been following my journey, you know that I often experience strange phenomena, most notably seeing what I refer to as the codes of creation. Now, in this video, I'm excited to share with you in detail how it all began, how these crystalline codes appeared to me, and what they might mean for our understanding of reality. I'll even share my own sketch to help illustrate this phenomena and a short video that I found of a physicist's depiction that most closely relates to what I see. It all started on the night that many believe marked a significant shift in consciousness. That night was December 12th, 2012. This date is often associated with the end of an era and the beginning of a new one. Now, I was living in Denmark, and around 10 p.m. that evening, I suddenly heard a high pitched sound in both of my ears. A sound that reminded me of tuning forks resonating in like perfect harmony. This pitch lasted for a few minutes, and then as it faded, something incredible happened. A green orb appeared to me and floated around in my room. I felt a deep sense of peace. But at the same time, I was struck by how bizarre and inexplainable this event was. The next day, I was determined to find some logical explanation for this. I asked my neighbors if they heard anything unusual, if there were any like parties or music playing in the area, but no one had experienced anything out of the ordinary. It was just a typical quiet evening in the neighborhood. I even checked the news to see if there had been any strange occurrences reported. But again, nothing. Perplexed and unable to find any answers, I decided just to carry on with my life and just think it was just another bizarre situation. To make sure that my health was up to par, I visited several doctors to have my eyes checked, my body, my mind, and overall health. And they all said I was perfectly healthy. About 6 months after the initial incident, something even more astonishing happened. I began seeing crystalline formations that seemed to be made of light, linking together in intricate patterns. These shapes were unlike anything I've ever seen before. They didn't belong in our familiar reality. They seemed to exist in dimensions far beyond this physical world that we know, that I knew. I was completely blown away, and I couldn't even wrap my head around it, what I was seeing for weeks, if not months. Now, after 13 years of seeing these crystalline codes every single day, I want to share with you how they appear to me and what I've learned. Now, the best way to see them is by looking at a natural light, like either outdoors, at the sky, or indoors with sunlight like streaming in. It doesn't matter whether it's a cloudy day or a sunny day, these formations are always there, cascading from above to below in a continuous motion. Now, when I lose sight of part of this formation, when it goes too low, another identical formation appears from above to below, cascading down like this. I will include the sketch in the photo in the video. Now, these formations look like tubes or thick strings that loop and cross each other, creating a network of intersection points. At each intersection, there's a circle, and within each circle, I often see shapes that resemble sacred geometry. Although these crystalline structures are transparent, much like a crystal, they are in constant motion, never static, always floating from above to below. Over the years, I observed that these formations change slowly, sometimes over weeks, months, even years. I've also noticed that my emotional state affects how I perceive them. Like when I'm feeling stressed and anxious, I only see a small section of the formation. But when I'm like at peace and feeling aligned with my life, I see more of the formation, and it moves more slowly, almost as if it's responding to my inner state. This is what I observed. Now, this had led me to conclude that these crystalline codes are somehow connected to my consciousness, reflecting my mental and emotional state. These formations appear to exist in a dimension much higher than our 3D world. They look more like something from a fourth, fifth, or even higher dimensions. Now, this feeling is difficult to describe because nothing in our physical world can compare to what I see. The closest analogy I've found is in the concept of a quasi-crystal or a tetrahedron, which some physicists discuss as a higher dimensional structure. But even this comparison falls short of capturing the full essence of what I see. One fascinating aspect I've noticed is that when I try to draw a sketch of what I see, the crystalline formations seem to cascade faster, almost as if they're aware of my intentions to capture them visually. It's like a playful interaction that I still don't fully understand, but it just adds another layer of the mystery to this phenomena. I researched what could be causing this experience, or just in general, what it could be. Eventually, I found a group of people who had seen something similar. They call it the crystalline codes, but their visual depiction doesn't fully align with mine, leaving me with more questions than answers.
A group of physicists in Los Angeles have come up with a new theory of reality, and it's based on periodic patterns or crystals. Crystals can be of different shapes, but also of different dimensions. Even more so, a higher dimensional crystal can be projected to create a pattern in a lower dimension. The resulting pattern is called a quasi-crystal. Physicists took a specific 8D crystal, projected it to 4D at a certain angle. From it, they have driven a 3D quasi-crystal, which they believe is a substructure of all reality. The fundamental building block of this 3D quasi-crystal is called a tetrahedron, or a three-dimensional triangle, with all its sides of the same length. This is where it gets spooky. According to their theory, just like digital displays consist of the smallest units of a digital image, pixels, a tetrahedron is a 3D pixel of our reality. Each tetrahedron has just a few states in which it can exist, and the state of one tetrahedron defines the state of other tetrahedrons that fill the entire space of the universe.
So I hope I've done justice in explaining what I see and how it has influenced my understanding of our reality. If there's anything I didn't cover, or if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, comment down below. I'm always open to do a follow-up video to explore this more in depth, answer any questions that you might have. And as always, let's keep the comments respectful. I am not here to convince you of anything or even for you to believe what I see. I am just here to share my experience, however bizarre that it may sound to you. I realize that by sharing this might seem so out there, but I reached a point in my life where I no longer am concerned with how others might perceive me. I've kept this to myself far too long, and I believe it's time that we share these experiences openly and respectfully. Maybe it's all part of a divine timing, or perhaps it's simply the right moment for me to speak my truths. Either way, I would love to collaborate with others and seek scientific evidence that could bring us closer to understanding the true nature of our reality and what it's made of. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I hope me sharing my experiences has opened your eyes that the world we live in is so much more than we are told or taught. It truly is incredible. If you have any questions or thoughts, please leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, stay curious, stay open-minded, and let's unravel the mysteries together. See you soon.